Hey, Joe. What is the company Facebook, now named Meta, have in store for us?
Smoking meats. What is meats? How do you define meats? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then meats are simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain. I'm Joe.
I'm Josh.
You've got questions?
You're feeling grounded.
Welcome to Feeling Grounded with your hosts, Josh and Joe.
So what we want you all to do right now is subscribe to Feeling Grounded Podcast, like this video, and share this video to any person that you think might enjoy this content. Also, follow us at Feeling Grounded Podcast. That's at Feeling Grounded Podcast on Instagram. Third time's the charm, at Feeling Grounded Podcast. Also, become a patron. On Patreon, you guys will be able to see exclusive content that Josh and I love to put out there. Love to put that out there so that you guys can see us react to a bunch of things. I won't go too far into detail about that because that's your journey. Your journey is to feel grounded. Right, Josh?
That's right.
Yeah, because questions are what make us insert a really inspirational quote that I can't really think of at this point.
The more you know. So, Joe, are you going to take the red pill or the blue pill?
I'm going to take the probably the red pill.
Smoked meats.
I'll take the smoking meats pill.
So what's good, Joe? How's your life? How's your week?
Well, I'm currently at my folks' place. They are traveling right now, and they asked me to dog sit for a couple of hours. This is my old childhood room.
Whoa.
Yeah. We painted it not terribly long ago. Yeah, it's pretty surreal being in here. My old childhood room. Now it's the guest room.
What color was it before?
It was it's like baby blue right now. You can see it was a little bit of a darker baby blue, but
Just a blue.
yeah, favorite color.
Nice. Very cool.
I see that we've made a little bit more progress on the
The studio.
studio.
I got more shelves because I brought home a lot of audio equipment from my work, and then stored that in there, and then I moved the guitars over here. So it's a little more enclosed now. And then all that's left, like I said before, I want to build a wall that separates us and splits the garage in half, and then something for the back because I don't want to see the garage door.
Nice.
Whether it's a wall or just like a drop cloth or something. But yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
It's pretty cool.
It's time for Happy Crappy.
Oh, how's the week been? What's your happy?
Oh, Joseph. I had quite the week. Some big changes happening in my
Day-to-day affairs.
Exactly. So I decided I'm going to be leaving my job, which is really exciting. I'm going to miss working there, but I think it's ready. I've been there for a while, and I think that it's time to move on, jump into some greener pastures, and do what I love. Because the job that I had is not one that's you do forever. So I'm just looking forward to the road ahead. And so I did that. So I was home a lot this week. Been falling into this beautiful routine of eating really well and exercising, going to the gym. I went to daily mass. And I've been working on music, which is my whole thing now, doing some music production. Because if you remember, I'm going back to school for it. And I love it so much. So I'm trying to make, I made socials again just for this. I'm never going to use it personally, but I'm always going to share my content and all this stuff on Instagram, on Twitch, on YouTube, Facebook, which I don't know if I'll do Facebook. I might delete that one, but
I remember seeing the logo for it a couple days ago. It looks like Zach. He made the logo for it, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my man Zach
He's,
over
he's,
at
he's got a
ZJM
specific
Designs.
he's got a specific style to it,
Yeah,
and
he does, yeah.
it's awesome. Shout out to you, Zach,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
he
brother.
made our logo for Feeling Grounded.
That's right. Yeah, and he made my logo for my my music studio.
We
So if
gotta
you're a
have him on
fan,
soon.
check out more music studios. I'm just gonna do a little plug for that because now I have.
You
no
put your
job.
last name in there?
I did, yeah, I did,
Okay, cool.
which is okay.
Not bad.
So check us out: Instagram, YouTube, SoundCloud, Twitch. I'm gonna start doing Twitch streams, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna be streaming my production process. So every day when I'm editing and recording and stuff, I'm gonna stream it online. But yeah, so the week was awesome. It was really good. I'm like heading towards the direction I want to go in, and my family's been so supportive. My wife is awesome. Claire's been very loving in this process because, like I said, I loved working at this job. The stuff I was doing was awesome, but the environment was not the best, and it was pretty toxic, and it just led to a lot of emotional distress, which contributed to unhealthy lifestyles. So now I'm turning my life around. I'm doing this Noom thing. I've been hitting the gym. I've already lost like almost 10 pounds already.
Yeah, I remember you telling me before we started recording, it was about 1 pound per day so far.
Yeah, it's been like 1 pound a day, which is crazy. It's just melting right off me, which I'm really excited about. And I'm not starving myself. Like I'm still eating a lot, but it's a lot of healthy food, a lot of good foods. I haven't done fast food. I'm not overindulging in pizza. I'm even still having like ice cream every now and again and a cookie here and there, but I'm just not overdoing it. And it's working. So
Good.
things are really good, Joe. Things are really good. So that's my happy. Massive life change to living an awesome, healthier, happier, more spiritually fed, more physically whatever. It's good stuff. I'm like, it's happy days, Joseph.
Love it.
Yeah.
It seems like it's a pretty crazy thing to get up and leave the position, but ultimately, if you're feeling good about it, like,
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it can be a stressful time depending on the person's perspective.
Yeah, no, definitely. But for me, I've always someone who I love the idea of change and I love leaping into change. And obviously, there's always emotional roadblocks that we take whenever there's change. But I really like it, and I think this was a good one. This is a good one because I'm always trying to like be a better version of myself. Like every single day, I'm trying to like improve.
Yeah, it takes recommitting.
Yeah, and I just think that was a big thing that was holding me back a bit in that regard. And so I'm gonna try to pursue some greener pastures. Not to say that like, because it's very easy to fall into that like cycle of like, well, I'm not happy, so I need something better. I'm not happy, I need something better. But I think there is something out there, and every job that I've had, every experience I've had, I've learned something from it, and it was a valuable experience and a good time, and for whatever purpose. And then I think for me, I'm just getting pulled out and thrown into something else. And if it's every couple of years, then it's every couple of years. If it's for a very long time, then it's for a very long time, and I'm going to be happy with that. I just always want to do what's healthy for me and for my family. And right now, this is it. This is it.
Good.
So, yeah.
Cool.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. What about you, Joe?
My happy? Well, recently I spent a few nights with a few friends from church. Some nights were related to worship, team-related topics, playing over this Sunday coming up. And then also some young adult group stuff. But this week's theme has been that fellowship and support. Even this last month and even through this summer, which is something that I hadn't really considered, and something that I needed too. So
it was, yeah, that's great, man. That's awesome. Good stuff. Crappies. Let's do some crappies.
Okay.
So I'll go first. I had a lead on a job that fell through. So the dream is to do audio production, studio, in like a studio setting, whether it's music, podcasts, whatever it is, some kind of an audio medium. And there are a lot of jobs out there. but one that I was pretty close, that I felt confident about, just kind of fell through and disappeared underneath my feet, which is a little frustrating. But
what was the reason?
they
If you don't mind
decided,
me
because
asking.
the job was supposed to be remote, and then they decided not to have it be remote anymore.
Oh, okay.
So, and they're from Tennessee, so they said you can still try to get the job if you want to come to Tennessee. And I was like, I don't.
Yeah,
I
how
don't
about
think so. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that yet. Maybe one day, but not right now. Yeah, so I'm on the market looking for more, and yeah, so that's the goal. I want like a remote job where I can sit here and just create audio and edit things. Which, like I said, I was looking on Indeed right before this, and there's a lot out there. So I'm just gonna throw a lot of resumes out and see what sticks.
Sweet, man.
Yeah.
I'll be there praying for you.
Yeah, man. Please, and listeners, hit me those prayers. Hit me those prayers.
Like and subscribe.
Smash that prayer button. Oh boy. Drink
Christian
break.
YouTube.
Hey, cheers. What's your crappy?
Okay. So I think
Like I think it's
like I think I said wrong. Anyway, cut. So I think I remember saying this a few weeks ago. I've still had some late afternoons at work. So I suppose my crappy was not having total freedom of my afternoons. That's changing as this week progresses, coming up, which I appreciate. It's been like that actually roughly a month. So it's kind of affected my workout schedule and regimen. It's affected my workout regimen. Cut out the thing before. It's affected my workout regimen. Cut again. It's affected my workout regimen, and I'm also looking for greener pastures as far as that goes. So, and to get back to that familiarity that I had back in like September, for example, and in the summer, in that regard.
Nice. No, that's great, man. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Keep at it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great that you desire greener pastures. It's not great that like what's happening. I'm not like
It's
happy
great that
you're
you're
not
suffering.
exercising.
No,
like
I'm
good
still,
for you. Good for you.
I am exercising a little bit.
Right.
Like it's about twice a week versus like my 4 times a week type thing. So it's killing me because there are some days I'm just like, it's too late for me like to work out because I'm going to wake up like the people because I'm a loud guy.
Right. You're a loud guy.
Yeah.
When you exercise?
Kinda, yeah. I like to have like
You like grunt and stuff?
it's that combined with like
Stomping.
yeah, plus also like Rocky 4 music.
Oh, I see. Nice. That's great.
That's something that I like to have on repeat because that's the greatest of all time. I mean, I like to have like other stuff too, but that's something I always like to go back to.
Recently, I've been rocking Flux Pavilion. I don't know if you've ever heard of him before.
No.
He does that. He's like an EDM electric artist. He's really popular. He did the I Can't Stop. Burp, 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 burp. You know?
No.
It's I've been really getting into like EDM stuff recently, so
I'll do it too. I'll try it out.
I'll send you my.
Could you
workout
imagine
playlist.
if it just ruins the workout experience? Like I just
It makes you like impotent, like and cut.
The future is inevitable, but let's travel back in time.
All right, timeline. So let me go first because yours
All
is
right.
probably cooler than mine. So
all right, so
November.
timeline.
What?
Oh, sorry. The cooler than mine. Yeah, cut that out. I don't care.
No. Okay, so November
We have good days and bad days with our edits, I think.
Yeah. And of course, this is the one that I'm gonna do. No, it'll be all right. Okay, so November 3rd, 1956. Joseph, have you ever heard of a film called The Wizard of Oz?
It's a foreign. Is that like a foreign film?
Foreign concept too. Yeah, if you mean foreign as in America. Yeah, so the 1939 film The Wizard of Oz televised for the first time. So this was the first time that The Wizard of Oz was on television. In 1956. Can you believe that?
I remember those days.
It was hosted by Bert Lore, and 10-year-old Liza Minnelli.
Oh, Liza Minnelli. That's the daughter of Judy Garland.
That's right. As the finale of the Ford Star Jubilee series on CBS. So that's crazy.
That's like a typical movie that you should be seeing when you are younger, if not on repeat. Because I've met a few kids that have never seen it before.
I have to say, this is not a movie I watched as a kid. I watched it like as an adult for the first time, like literally a couple years ago.
Wow. And from an adult perspective, what are your thoughts?
I thought it was really kind of like an acid trip.
It was a movie.
Crazy. Yeah. I've obviously heard about it before, and I've seen like clips of it or whatever, but and I knew the premise. But yeah, it was just woof. This is a movie, all right.
One thing that doesn't get talked about a lot, of course, Wizard of Oz is one of the top ranked films of all time. I think Gone with the Wind would be number 2, because that came, I think, a year later. But we should also talk about how they tried to, recapture the magic, so to speak, of the Wizard of Oz. You've heard of Return to Oz? Came out like in '85. They recasted Dorothy, of course, because obviously it's how many decades later?
50 years.
And it's a much darker take on the tale of, and they said that it was, at least critics, I think it was more akin to and related to L. Frank Baum's original works. Because there are like 7 books.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah.
Crazy.
It's one that you should see, because I remember seeing it and I was haunted by like the headless queen. It's pretty dark movie.
I see. Crazy.
Yeah.
The Return, you mean the Return?
Return to Oz, yeah. I think it came out in mid-'80s.
Wow. How about that? Okay, yeah, so 1956, November 3rd. First time Wizard of Oz was on television.
November 3rd, 19... All right. I'm so sorry for your edit.
No, that's fine.
November 3rd, 1976. Jimmy Carter was elected the president of the United States. And his slogan at the time was quite simply, "Trust me."
Really?
Plain and simple.
That was his slogan?
Yeah, that was his slogan, "Trust me." He got 51% of the popular vote. And this was against, I didn't mention this before, but against Gerald Ford, who took over presidency once Nixon resigned in 74, I believe. So to give you some backstory about like how the election... To give you some backstory about how the election went. So New York, the state of New York, had a substantial majority for Democrats. And the turnout for Roman Catholics was great for Carter. He was a Baptist, and it was assumed before the election that it would be alienating Catholics. But no, I think they still appreciated the Christian guy that he was.
Yeah.
Plus, also, I think one of the big reasons, the elephant of the room, why Gerald Ford lost is because Watergate was not too far away from 1974, and I think the United States was still suffering from the fallout of Watergate and the fact that Ford pardoned Nixon. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
And Carter, he only... Edit that out. So, Carter, he only lasted one term. He got swept in 1980 by Ronald Reagan. But I think it's worth it to talk about his feats and his follies. You know, his achievements. If anybody who is listening right now looks up the Panama Canal Treaty and then also the Camp David Accords, look that up because those are fantastic achievements that he took part in. With the Camp David Accords, more particularly, this led to peace between Egypt and Israel. But the folly, one that didn't help him for the 1980 election, was his decision to allow the Shah of Iran to escape to the United States in 1979 led to the Tehran hostage case, the siege there, and the rest is history. But after his presidency, he worked as like a mediator for these trouble spots in the world, like Ethiopia, Haiti, Bosnia, you name it. So I think in presidential polls about who are the worst presidents, I think he's up there as one of the worst. But it seems to me, as a leadership role, not a good guy. But maybe as just like a human being, I think it's often overlooked. You don't notice that. I think he seems to be a pretty upstanding guy.
Yeah, I think so. At least from what I've heard about him in his personal life, he seemed like he was a good man. But yeah, the whole hostage crisis was really a big stain on his tenure. But and history will always look at that. So it's kind of a shame, but it is what it is. It was kind of a big flub, so.
I feel like that last year before an election, the last like year and a half, really makes or breaks, and you can usually see a pattern about who the world you can usually see a pattern of who the United States will be electing.
Yeah.
Cut out the world thing that I said before.
Oh, that was okay.
Yeah.
I have to cut this out. Oh, there's gonna be so many cuts. So what are we chatting about today? Well, hold on.
Swig of coffee for the working man.
Joe, do you want to smoke some meats? That's such an old thing. I don't know why. I'm like,
it's like 2018, right?
Yeah, it was a while ago. That's a while ago. And
that
like
is a
meme culture, like internet culture. Every time
memes
I move,
memes will
my
never
camera
die.
shakes.
That's like the true cancel in a funny way. You know, they're always going to be there. There's always something to dig up.
Yeah,
but
true.
meme culture, they just think it's funny.
Yeah. So I thought, to just change the subject, I thought this. I saw that Facebook was changing their name to Meta.
Yep.
And I thought that was a joke. I honestly thought it was a joke. So I played tennis with Celia, and she was like, did you hear this? That like Facebook is changing their name? And I was like, what?
Yeah, the news came out a couple days ago, no?
Yeah, it did. But I saw it in an article, and I thought it was like a joke article. I thought it was like satire.
Something like The Onion.
Because like that is like the stupidest thing. I'm sorry. But it is like literally everything that we're talking about, how awful these social medias and big tech companies are. And they're like, just like going with it now.
Yeah.
Like to change their company to Meta.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding
So
me?
Facebook, it's just to give people some context, if you've lived under a rock for the last 15, 20 years, Facebook, it's one of the most used products in world history. Mark Zuckerberg, he stated that this doesn't encompass all that we do anymore. Like, of course, they're going to continue their social media presence, calling it Facebook, sure. But they have their hand in things such as Instagram, WhatsApp, and they are building towards this, like you said before, this Metaverse company. New company brand, and now they're just going to be called Meta, right? Because this seems like some 1984 type stuff. And I've mentioned this multiple times before, and we'll get to their ads and stuff like that because I've watched it. It's haunting.
Yeah, I watched it too. Yeah.
But with all their apps and brands that we've mentioned before, it's all staying the same. But Mark Zuckerberg, he said Metaverse first, Facebook second. Do you know what like meta means? I think it means something in Greek. It means beyond.
Yeah, so it's like self-referential, right? So like this concept of like knowing, it's like a robot becoming self-aware, like knowing you're a robot, like breaking the fourth wall. That concept of like it's all encompassing. Like it gets everywhere, like outside of what it's intended to be, which is crazy. I hate it. I hate.
Well, that whole self-aware type thing, you're giving me like Skynet type vibes.
Well, that's what this whole thing feels like.
Yeah.
It feels like a sci-fi movie from the 80s or something.
Doesn't
in the
it?
90s, yeah.
Well, Facebook, it hasn't been without its scandals. You know, in 2018, Facebook, they violated an order from 2012 in regards to user privacy, which more and more has come out since then and in short order. And they got like a $5 billion penalty, $5 billion fine. And of course, of censoring people's opinions in the last like 2 years, more news about that. You know, whether censoring people's opinions, whether the opinions are actually wrong or not, is just, we got to talk about the ethics about this, you know? Even if it is wrong there, you got to trust people in order to make informed decisions or not, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just crazy, man. It's really crazy. All this stuff that's been coming out on the whistleblowing and all this whatnot, which wasn't really, well, I didn't dive into that, but yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like the times that we're living in is insane. Like of the kind of cultural shift and the control that big tech has. It's causing the Bill of Rights to disappear. Like,
Right.
like we have no rights anymore because we're being censored so badly.
So with
Facebook.
the metaverse, we've seen something like this in the likes of Ready Player One and The Matrix too. You know? Yeah,
so this is a reference to the ad that they just released, right? The video that came out showing their metaverse concept.
Yes.
Of making this a virtual reality existence.
Yes.
To where instead of just being on your phone, talking to people, watching games, being at locations through your phone, but like actually being there with a VR headset. Yikes.
Right. So like Josh said, you'll be visiting virtually, and at the ad that Mark Zuckerberg was talking to the people on Facebook Connect, he said, and he was talking about for like an hour, talking about all the products they plan to release. And I saw it. It looks dystopian. It's corporate restructuring, in my opinion, potentially due to, you know, all these potential breakups from U.S. lawmakers, which has surprisingly been bipartisan. You know, by all these big tech companies. So that's probably one of the reasons why they're calling it Meta and doing all these random things, because it's more than just Facebook coming from Zuckerberg himself.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy, man. Yeah. So this as soon as I heard this, I was like, oh man, this is the Matrix. Like this is what's happening. Like we're getting there. Like and there's two parts to this, right? So my feeling is like, as a person who loves technology, I think this is amazing. But what I'm also finding is that this concept of technological advancements as a replacement for human interaction is very much dangerous. Yeah. And I think it kind of goes against the concept of the human person, as we talked about before in this. But
yeah, we use all these social media apps anyway. Why add something greater, something more? Because we've had this in the last few years. We've had this avalanche of news about these tech companies and their supposed, you know, quote unquote, protecting us. They say, and it's clearly something that not everyone is responding to. The majority of people are not responding to, because they see through this protecting as something totally the opposite.
That there's maybe an agenda behind it that's trying to pursue something. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I feel that too.
Those 80s movies are looking pretty good right now. I'm very thankful that those dystopian type and even like those novels from the 50s too are more relevant now than ever. If we didn't have those to like base what's going on right now off of, people might be a lot more accepting of this or blind to it.
Well, I don't know if people don't really because who this is drawing in is like your 20s and 30 somethings.
Fair enough.
You know, and I feel like how many.
And they don't read these type
Yeah,
things.
exactly.
They don't,
like how many would they know? Like the average person, like would they have read 1984 if it wasn't like mandated in school? Which I don't even know if it's like regular high school reading anymore, because it was when we were kids. But
I read it for summer reading because we had options. I read 1984 just because it sounded cool.
Yeah,
and I was very thankful.
I don't think
Same with like Fahrenheit 451.
Yeah. So that was the year, but for my class, we didn't read 1984. It was Fahrenheit 451, The Giver, and Hunger Games. And I read Fahrenheit 451. I didn't understand anything, and I didn't get it because I was an idiot high schooler. But anyways, so yeah, so this whole concept makes me nervous, and I think, and what I think is happening. I have to be careful here. Yeah, I guess I won't say any of that stuff. Okay. Yeah, I just think that this idea of replacing human face-to-face, in-person interaction with something that is technological and virtual will never satisfy the human. Because what's going to happen is if we're trying to replace just regular actions and regular social activities with virtual reality, what's going to happen is at the end of the day, you're going to take the headset off. And then what? Like, are you going to be happy with yourself? Are you going to feel more like satisfied with your existence? Like, are you going to be happy when you're not actually being with anybody? Sure, you're getting visually stimulated by other people around you. Maybe you're talking with them or whatever, but you're not drawing near to them. You're not really feeling and experiencing their presence.
And they'll try to, and we might see this in the coming years once the metaverse is in full bloom, because they're going to be trying that. We will start to see more and more isolation and dissatisfaction with people's personal lives, and they'll try to satiate that by going further and further into these simulations.
Yeah, exactly. And we're already seeing this. Like, some of these things already exist. There's already VR chats and stuff like that. And those places are not good. No. Like, I would never be a part of those.
It's a cesspool of
depravity.
It's a cesspool of depravity. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Because what happens are people who have no interactions go to these things, and then they're nameless, they're faceless, and they can do whatever the heck they want. Like, serious bullying and like sexual assaults and stuff happen in these VR chats. And so it's just
like we said before, the people that are in those, and a lot of the people that spark a lot of outrage in today's day and age, they would not last in a Modern Warfare 2 lobby.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Very true. So it's just crazy. It's really crazy. I just wish people understood like the importance of community. Yeah. The importance of being honest. Like, I'm a severe introvert. Like, I love to be by myself. Like, I like to be the person in the background. I like that time. But I am miserable when I am not speaking to people. I am miserable when I'm like, I shouldn't say that. I'm miserable when I go long distance of time, like long periods of time without human interaction. Yeah. So say I would have a lot of downtime at this job that I just left. So I would have literally days, like during the summer, I wouldn't see anybody and I would just be in my office. And I was miserable. And I'm an extreme introvert, you know? And so with that in mind, like, I realized that like we need interaction. Like we need at least to talk to somebody and to be honest and like have a nice conversation with another person. So yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of taking this in a tangent, but like, what do you think, Joe? What do you think about all this stuff?
I think this is more and more of a reason to not only deactivate your Facebook and deactivate the rest of your social media accounts if you can help it. I mean, of course, we've got our Feeling Grounded one, but just get rid of it and get. I don't know. I liked your commentary a little bit better. It kind of sums it up a little bit more. So take mine with what you will, maybe before you talk. But I like the way that you ended it.
No, I think that, I think that's so true what you're saying. I mean, and we're seeing it right now. We're seeing it. Like we need to get off social media. We need to get off these things.
Yeah.
We really do. We need to be, as opposed to diving deeper and deeper into this false reality, we need to like discover the real one.
Yeah, it's proven time and time again in the last like 10 years that we've seen that people's mental health is eroding.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
if we're
And so
if we're diving further into it,
is that going to help? How's that going to help? Exactly. Like we've seen a massive spike in mental illness during this time and mental health problems during this time of the quarantine and of the pandemic. So you want to just double down in that reality and tell people, oh no, it's okay. Now you can like pretend that you're with people. Now you can like be, in this like pretend space that's not really real. And then what's going to happen is it's still going to get worse. People are going to get, like I said, get off those VR headsets, go back to their existence, and like, are they going to be happy? Like, no, they're not.
No.
So yeah. We need to get off social media. Everyone does. Yeah. And I'm on it now for business reasons, but I'm not using it personally. I'm never going to just scroll through it. I don't have personal accounts. Like I'm always just going to be doing it for business purposes.
Right.
But just get off them, man. Everyone's got to get off them.
Yeah.
We need like a mass exodus from these things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when Facebook was down a few weeks ago, and that was a very rare occasion, that was probably the best thing that could happen for the world.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So what we want you all to do right now is subscribe to Feeling Grounded Podcast, like this video, and share this video to any person that you think might enjoy this content. Also, become a patron. On Patreon, you guys will be able to see exclusive content that Josh and I love to put out there. Our reactions are something that are the highlights of our week. And we want you guys to be following us on Instagram at Feeling Grounded Podcast. That's at Feeling Grounded Podcast. Third time's a charm, at Feeling Grounded Podcast. Also, when you guys are on YouTube or Instagram, please, 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 I can't stress this enough, like our posts and also put a question on there because that's our whole motto. You've got questions, you're feeling grounded. I think it also boosts us in the algorithm as well. It's very imperative that you share this journey with us because this is a passion project for Josh and I, and we want you to be on this journey with us. I'm Joe.
I'm Josh.
You've got questions?
You're feeling grounded.